Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 0 to 60. Now today is Saturday and we are going roll racing this afternoon in the China Turbo 17T car, which is sitting just there. I haven't changed anything since the last roll racing, so we'll see how we go. But the main thing I'm going to be doing is racing Connor in his M4 CS, so that video will be up tomorrow. But this video today, we're focusing on the E46 M3 convertible. So our father purchased this car about 2 or 3 months ago now, and it's looking a bit unloved, mainly because it's been parked here doing nothing for about a month because he dropped it off to get the keys sorted, and the keys that I ordered to program have finally arrived. In fact, let's have a quick look at them. So we'll use this lovely table here. This car was actually, we got it with this key here. Now, as you can see, it's held together with electrical tape. None of the buttons work, but it does start the car. Now, I ordered these replacement keys. I've ordered a few of them with the intention of, I guess, making them and selling them, but we will do some tests first. But I did actually cut the blade in my cheap blade cutter the other day, and it does work. Let me show you what it does. So interestingly, the older E46s, they have an EWS key security system, not a CAS security system that's in the E90s. Okay, I'm just going to put the original key in first. So ignition comes on. Oh, got to put it in neutral, and we can start the car. Turn the radio down. All well and good. Now, obviously, it's got the security microchip in there, which lets it start. Back to neutral. And the key that I have cut, we can put it in. We can turn the ignition on. Back to neutral. But car will not start. Does not have the microchip. So what I'm going to do in this one is basically see if I can get this programmed using another cheap tool from you-know-where, and we're going to go with it. So unfortunately, with this generation of car, unlike the E90, you can't just plug the tool into the OBD port and code the key. That's super quick, super nice. Do quite like it with the E90s, how quick it is. With these, you do have to take the EWS module out and take it apart. Now, the EWS module is, I think I mentioned it before, but it is basically the security module for this vehicle. And I guess it does kind of work like the CAS. It is located up and under here. So instead of filming something I haven't done before and struggling and bending around in funny angles, I'm going to get the EWS module removed, and you'll meet me inside where we try and hook it up to the computer and get this key programmed in. All right, guys, well, I'm not sure how this is going to edit together, but it's actually the next day. Yeah, so yesterday was Saturday. What you saw was filmed Saturday morning. About half an hour after I filmed that clip, roll racing got cancelled because Southeast Queensland went into like a full lockdown, so we're not allowed to leave home now. Yay. Luckily, I've got lots of things to do here. However, the reason that this video is spread onto the next day, reading that EWS4 from the E46 M3 did not go as smoothly as I would have liked. Now, I was planning to use an AK90 programmer. I bought this breakout board, which the EWS4 sits on, sort of. I'll talk about that in a second. And I also have the AK90 software set up and running. And we know that works. I could read keys. I don't think I actually showed you guys. But if I read, that's the X5 key. We put that in there. We can go read, or test key it is. It connects. There we go, it's read the key. And we come up with the VIN, the kilometers on the car, where the car was made. It's some pretty cool information. Anyway, so I knew that was sort of working, assumed the drivers were working, good to go. Now, when I put the EWS4 into this, and I have so much footage from yesterday, I'm not sure what I'm going to end up putting into this video, but when I put it onto this little board, which was about $50 from China, the EWS didn't sit flat. The way that they've designed these pins is when you actually squash these pins down flat, they still stick up higher than the board. But we could sort of get it on there to where it looked like it was seated properly, and all of these should have been contacting pins underneath. We would basically go to read the EWS and just get pin no connect errors. It was driving us insane. And yeah, went through quite a lot of different things. We checked all the wiring pinouts. One thing that did throw us off is when you click to read the EWS4 board, which is this one here, it's got this wiring diagram. So when we had the board in there, we could connect to, basically use a multimeter and basically use a multimeter and check continuity between pin number 1 and then pin number 1, and we could sort of make sure we're good to go. Now, where I ended up in a world of confusing myself is they use pin number 1 as red. So I grabbed this wire that comes with the AK90 and I'm like, cool. So red wire, that's pin number 1. Sweet. So I would check pin number 1 on this and make sure that it was going to where the red wire goes on this one, and it wasn't. It was all back to front. So basically what we ended up working out was this wire here, these colors do not match the wiring diagram that the AK90 software, even though it comes with the AK90. Pin number 1, and it even has it on there, which I was ignoring, is actually brown. Pin number 2, which is white on this diagram, is the red one. No, is the blue one. No, it is the red one. Anyway, eventually broke down all the pin numbers. We worked out the pin numbers because when you take this circuit board off, you get a pin number breakout of here. So we connected the pins 1 through to 6 based on these pin numbers here, 1 through to 6, with a soldering iron, and eventually read the EWS from the E46 M3. However, man, that took like 5 hours to work out because I was thinking, well, actually, this still never actually read anything, which is a bit annoying. So we never actually managed to get this to work. However, doing a little bit more reading last night when I was going through a few things, even though this is an EWS3, even though the EWS4 doesn't have this thick layer of glue on it, and we could check continuity with the multimeter, it looks like you may still need to actually sand down the back of the EWS4 to get this to work, which I didn't do. I didn't want to sand down the circuit board. Anyway, we'll go and show you that key in the E46 M3 working, which is this key right here. Let's go and have a look. So I have the key just there with the electrical tape on it, which is what come with the car. And then we got the new one that we coded in yesterday, and we can unlock the car now. That's amazing. And I guess the most important thing, really need to detail this pretty soon, we can also, with this key, put it into neutral. Oops, what have I done? It's not into neutral. Now it's in neutral. It will start the car. Cool, so we have a working key. And this one can get put into storage. Shut up. However, I didn't manage to film any of the EWS programming stuff. Well, not, I did, but it's about 10 hours of footage that I don't really want to go through. So what I'm going to do is program a key for David's E39. Even though it connects differently with the EWS3, the actual programming side of it is exactly the same. So we'll go through, we'll read the EEPROM or whatever it's called from this EWS, which is an EWS3, and I've got 2 keys cut for David's E39, which this style of key is horrible to cut compared to the later ones. Yeah, we'll code them into Dave's EWS and we'll try them on the supercharged car. Right. Alright, so I've switched over to the iPhone just because it displays the screen a little bit better. But the first thing you need to do is work out what MCU or what main chip you're working with, and hopefully we can see there, but it is that text in the middle, which is OD46J. So that is what chip or MCU, whatever it is on this EWS. And look at that, it's already selected. So we select the correct OD46J. Looks like you can do it through K-line. This, yeah, I'm not gonna bother, but we're just gonna do it through direct connection to the MCU. Comes up and it shows us here. It also shows you about lining up the dot on the holder or the reader to the dot on the chip. So we know we've got the alignment around the right way. Okay, now this is going to be a bit difficult to do one-handed. Something I did read yesterday, when you're using this type of chip reader, you do need to put a reasonable amount of force to hold it down on the chip. So we're going to hold that down. All right, so then we can go read EWS. It warns you about a specific chip that you don't want to read. Please connect modal to port on MCU. Okay, we had to use some editing magic there, but we are now reading the EEPROM. I think we're going to work. Okay, then we've got it to save just there. All right, so we'll get that saved. It's almost like I did a test one off camera. All right, so we've saved the bin file. Okay, now we have basically the read of that chip, and that's what all that binary data is. We can analyze it with this little button here. Shows us the VIN number and that it's got 4 keys allocated. No problems. Okay, exit that. What we want to do is write a key to this car. So we'll plonk that key in there. Write key. We want to do it into position 10, And actually, I better just double check which transponder version it is. 2 seconds. Alright guys, so unfortunately this has turned into an absolute effing pain in the ass as well. It's about an hour since you last saw me. I can't get this to work properly either. The only way I think I can get it to work is I disconnect the reader from the EWS, I go right key, I'll get you to come in here and show them. So I'm going to try key number 9 this time. Right key, the key is in the coil. Now, what I'm hoping this is doing is writing that key to the bin file that we have open. Now, it won't verify, so you'll see me in about 10 minutes when it errors on the verification. Just while it's killing me from the inside out again, what's supposed to happen? You're supposed to have the MCU connected whilst you do that, and it should actually write the key to the MCU at that point. But there is, like I've tried, I don't know, 15 times, it will not write during that point. The only way I can do it is I'll then go EWS Analyze. I want to add key 9 in. Now this is assuming that it's written the new key to key 9 slot in that bin file that's open in the back. I'm going to pass the phone back over to David. We will line the programmer up, hopefully getting it connecting properly, and then we'll go right back to EWS and we'll find out if we get an error. It is the top one. Connecting. Okay, it's writing. So now I've just got to hold it perfectly still, let it complete this write. So this should be a modified bin file with the 2 new keys on it, hopefully. It makes me nervous when it stops counting. Cool, so it's written the data okay. And all that's left to do now is go and see if the car will start. And just to add insult to injury, today's just been one of those, this weekend has been one of those days. I have 2 keys cut here for this car. Unfortunately, the first one I cut is just a big dickie in the ignition, so that's why we did a second one. Well, why I did a second one. All right, so ignition is on, it's in neutral. All right, now we just have to program the key to do the central locking. Okay, so to program the keys, I'm in the car and I've got all 3 of them here. We're just going to try it. So we've got to go to ignition on, ignition off, then we hold unlock and tap lock 3 times. I did it wrong. 2, 3. Alright guys, I'm going to show you how far we've gotten. This has now been literally 2 days to code 2 keys to 2 different cars. It's just a nightmare. For some reason this vehicle won't initialize the keys for keyless entry. Now that's the only reason we wanted to code a key to this car. It come with a key, but the central locking never worked. Tried messing around with it, tried charging it with a toothbrush charger, it doesn't do anything. Now, these are the 2 keys that we've made with the AK90. One of them, I think I mentioned it earlier, the blade on it isn't very good. So it's a bit of a, you got to wiggle it a bit to get it to turn on, but it will start the car. And this is the other AK90 key. Both will start the car. So we think we're onto a good hit there. But obviously, the whole point of doing the key was to get the central locking working. And to do that on these cars, you do need to initialize them. Now this is what I went through with the E46 yesterday. It just worked first time. This car, we messed around with it for, I don't know, hour?
At least.
Then we realized that the fuse for the central locking module was blown. Fuse 56 in the boot. So we replaced that fuse. Now we can initialize the keys. So we go ignition position 1 on and off, then hold unlock. That key is initialized. We'll hold this one. Oh, that one didn't do it. Doesn't want to initialize now. Okay, got it to go that time. The genuine key will not initialize. And I have tried this 15, 20 times now. Cannot get the genuine one to initialize. You're supposed to hold unlock and then hit lock 3 times. The way that this car seems to respond to it is hold unlock and then 1, 2, 3, and on the 4th press it initializes. It will not do the initialization with the doors locked. It will not respond to any key presses. It won't do it if any of the doors are open, but we can get it to respond. Now, those two have just been initialized with the central locking. It locked and unlocked when I finished the sequence. We'll put it in, we'll turn the ignition on, turn it off, and now it should lock the car. But it doesn't. And this one won't either. Now, through all the messing around that we've done, the key that's got the dodgy cut on it, every now and again, it would work. But it hasn't this time. If I initialize with that key, if I just initialize that key on its own, okay, and then we've got to get it out of initialization mode. No, it's not working.
Alright.
So anyway, I'm going to end this video off here because I think it's been 3 days without video. That's pretty slack. But it's not for lack of trying. This has been one of those weeks. We wasted 2 days on the gauge. Oh, which by the way, for no effing reason,
The AFR has come back to life.
yeah, when it loads, AFR has come back to life. We still don't have boost or oil pressure.
It matches perfectly to the AM one.
It's been a good week.
Yeah.
Roll racing got cancelled. Coronavirus is back in Queensland. And old BMWs are a pain in my ass. Alright, guys, thank you very much for watching. Sorry there's nothing useful, but a bit of a vlog to show you the pain that we're going through. We'll catch you on the next one.
Peace out.
Hey, and I just thought I'd add this as well. We're still playing with it. I'm going to go and edit this video soon, but if we put the key to actual ignition on, so key position 2, then turn it off, it will also initialize the keys. However, it seems to be you hold unlock and it's on the 5th press of unlock, it does something. That's 5 presses. When it's on key position 1, it's 4 presses. If anyone's got any idea, that'd be great, because there's about 3 or 4 different instructions we've seen to initialize keys. But everyone says once it locks and unlocks, the keys should work.
And to clarify, we get one of the new keys, well, sorry, both keys would initialize, but then only one would actually work the central locking. The other one, even though it was talking to the car and in the initialization process said it was finished and finalized, it wouldn't actually work.
Any ideas? Let us know.